off to the draft. Look at this guy. Look at what he's wearing.
What up, Degenerates? Boudreaux family is on the road.
So we are officially in Arizona.
I can't believe I actually woke up in the room where commish corrections actually happens.
I love commish corrections.
Yeah, you like commish corrections?
Oh yeah, commish corrections.
Woo! Ah, no, not this guy again.
Hey, people! Yeah.
Happy birthday!
Jalapeno FTW. Fuck you all. Jalapeno.
Helping who?
I'm helping Josh.
I don't see it, Josh.
I think the most important point here is that he could have chosen as his own rival Bobby or Sean or Ryan, Nate, Matt, or Ben, but he chose Joe.
How are you
right
now?
He chose Joe. Out of all of us, he chose Joe. Now tell us why. Let's look at Joe's team.
Ah, nice! Yeah!
All right.
Woo!
Say hi, Mom.
What happened to Colorado? We agreed on Colorado. What the hell are we doing out here in the stink holes?
But listen, I do appreciate everything you did for me last year. Derrick Henry for practically free. I'm fine. What are you doing, Steve? Why are you filming us? Get out of here!
All right, guys, welcome back to the Ordinaree Fantasy Pod. My name is Ben Conroy. I'm your host. With me, as always, my man Nathan Boudreaux and my brother Matt Conroy. Guys, we are here. We are back. This is it. We are so close, guys, to the regular season starting, and we can't wait to get back to this every week. We are going to be bringing you all the fantasy stuff you guys need to get your teams going this year and help you win your fantasy championship. Guys, we just finished our draft. I don't know about you guys, but I am freaking still tired from this draft party. It was just out of control.
That was an all-time classic. I mean, we've had some fun draft parties before, but to pack that much fun into one small weekend, and we had all 14 of the guys there, all the families there. We had the boats, the jet skis, the splash pads, poker. It was a blast, man. I honestly think that was one of my top 2 or 3 draft parties of all time. What do you guys think?
Do you remember any of it or most of it?
No, not a bit.
That's why he likes it so much. He can remember it. Yeah.
He can't remember the team that he drafted.
We'll get to that later, but yeah,
we sure will.
Yeah.
It all flew by in a blur, that's for sure. I'll tell. I didn't mean to rhyme there, but by the time the weekend was over, I was like, "What the fuck just happened?" That just went by so fast.
Yeah, dude, that was crazy. Thoughts about the draft party? Any major thoughts about the actual draft? Any takeaways that you guys want to give us real quick?
Yeah, I'm with Nate and you, Ben. It was an amazing draft. We had a great experience. All the stuff surrounding the draft, the boats, everything else was great. But the draft itself, I thought was pretty cool this time. I think there's a lot of messing around with other people. I think prices weren't what people thought. I think some people drafted three tight ends, three quarterbacks. Like I don't know. I was betting people at one point that I can make Nate draft three tight ends. I don't know why. I don't know. It wasn't even my doing, but I thought I could control it and make him do it. And yeah, dude, everything was great. I thought it was a great draft.
Yeah, I mean, I think with Jeff handling the IT portion of the draft this year, it went by pretty smooth. You know what I mean? Like him and Bobby holding it down, and I thought it went well. I thought overall it was a good draft location. The draft went over smoothly. I'm really interested to see how you guys break down these teams coming up because that's what we're about to do. So let's get to that now. Let's hand out some draft grades. We're going to rank the teams themselves by division, and then we're also going to be giving you guys grades on your team names. So be ready for that. Matt, let's start out with the Saddle Creek division. Or wait, no, the Arizona Bay division, which is the opposite division you're in. Let's see how you want to rank. Who's going to be playing in the Loser Bowl this year coming out of Arizona Bay?
So you're asking for the worst team in that whole division? That's who you want to start with?
That's what I'm asking for. Who's going to end up in the Loser Bowl?
Yeah, it's between two, and I can see it going either way. But so I don't start an argument right now in the pod, I'll go with Joe. And yeah, his team's even it's barely complete. I don't even know if it's a full starting roster. I don't think he has enough wide receivers to field a competitive team. But I'm sure he'll fix it. I hope. But yeah, that's my pick, Joe, for the Loser Bowl.
And his team name, let's Joey Hulu. What kind of grade are you giving him for that?
Boring. Is that a grade? D. Yeah.
Well, he told us last year that Hulu stands for, it's an abbreviation for Hunter Lucas.
I like it a lot more now. Sorry, Joe.
I thought he was just repping his favorite streaming service. That's all I thought it was.
Yeah.
I always like to see teams change up their team name every once in a while. So I would like to see him come up with something. Maybe add an element for for his daughter or his wife or his dog or somebody. I mean, it's just Hunter Lucas. Let's have the rest of the family on it, Joey.
All right, Nate. Let's move it on to you're going to be giving us your first grade coming out of the Saddle Creek division. Who do you think is going to be playing in the Loser Bowl this year coming out of that division?
The question of who's going to be in the Loser Bowl, I don't know that we can necessarily pin that on somebody this early because, of course, we're only given draft grades, and the draft is only a very small percentage of what makes you successful in fantasy football, right? There's some teams that draft horribly, and then they make their teams better throughout the season. My team that I'm picking as having the worst draft typically drafts well and then makes his team worse throughout the season. And the fact that he did not draft well this year does not bode well for him. I want to first talk about his draft strategy. I think it was pretty clear that he went with a robust running back strategy. And let me tell you, he put the bust in robust. These running backs are dog doo-doo. I mean, his best running back might be the rookie, Jahmyr Gibbs. And this is Ryan that I'm talking about, of course.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs. He's got James Cook, who, a lot of people are high on Cook, but I don't know if I'd want him anchoring my team. Rashad Penny, who looks like he's probably going to get cut. That's the news out of camp. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I mean, there's not a lot going on here. And sorry, I missed one. Breece Hall. But of course, Breece is coming off a major injury, and they just signed Dalvin Cook.
Yeah.
So, his robust strategy for running backs, I don't know if it's going to pan out for him. I do like Garrett Wilson. I think he got him at a very cheap price. I thought Garrett Wilson would go for more than that. But other than that, I do not like Ryan's team at all. It's the worst team in our division by far.
I'm just going to tag on real quick. I'm interested to see how Gabe Davis does this year for Ryan, because last year I know he was kind of a hit and miss, and he was, all over the place as far as like he maybe showed up only a few times throughout the season, had big games. But I think he might be interesting this year. So I'm just kind of curious.
The buzz is on Gabe Davis is they said he hurt his ankle in week 2 and never recovered last season. Yeah. So the buzz that was there last season should still be there this season. I don't buy it, but that's what the industry is saying. I think he's a bust.
Yeah,
I do too.
well,
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see how it plays out. I'm interested.
Yep.
I'm interested to see. All right, Matt. Let's move it on. Who's your second worst team in the division? Maybe just right outside that loser bowl this coming up season for Arizona Bay.
Yeah, I think now remember we're grading just on the draft.
Just on the draft.
Anything can happen, right?
Anything
Just like
can
Nate
happen.
said.
Yep.
But yeah, with that being said, I'm going to go with Nate. I think the worst draft I've ever seen him have. He has one running back, Walker, unless he brings up his rookie, but he's not going to play Warren. He's not even a starter. He's not going to play Tank Dell. So yeah, I just think that he has a bad draft, and he has 3 tight ends, 2 quarterbacks. I think there's not enough depth on his team. And, I could have swapped him out with Joe. I think either of those guys could have gone the same way, which was so hilarious to me that they were betting who had the better team at the poker table. I'm like, they both suck. Like, who cares? You're both going to lose. But, I know he'll fix it. So
Yeah, and you know what? I'm not going to spend a long time defending myself. I will just say one thing, though. I did have a bad draft. I started drinking much earlier than I usually do. We were waiting for the Ribbles to get there. I usually just don't start drinking until halfway through the draft. I was drinking 3 hours before the draft.
Yeah.
I lost focus. I definitely had a bad draft, but I want to say one thing. My draft this year was better than my draft last year, and I won the league last year. Go back and look at last year's draft. I had 0 running backs. I at least have 1 this year. Last year, my running backs were fucking Darrell Henderson and Raheem Mostert. My draft this year was better than last year's.
It might have been, but the question is are you going to be able to pull off a trade like you did last year?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think so.
Okay.
We'll see how Ryan's feeling halfway through the season. And team name, Matt. Give him a quick team name grade on the good old Rico Dynamite.
Rico Dynamite, I gave a good grade of a B. I think it's fun. I like the character. Yeah, good. I think it's one of the better ones in the league right now.
All right,
it's a callback to Justin always saying that I'm like, Uncle Rico, hanging on my old past successes. So now that I've won a recent one, I officially have decided to own it.
Before we go too far, I think we skipped Ryan's name.
We sure did. Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Oh, did we skip Ryan's name? Sorry about that.
And this one needs to be talked about.
Let's,
it really does.
Nathan, give him a grade, Nate. Give him a grade.
All right. Ryan's new team name, it looks like he just changed it yesterday or today, is Pickett Up Cook and Kittle. So clearly he's trying to, use some players' names and put them all together. But number one, I always hate when people do that. That's like such a cliche, using your players' names to make a team name. But number 2, it doesn't make any fucking sense. What's Pick It Up?
Thank you. Kittle? I was going to say that. I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't know what it means.
Pick it up and cook it. Pick it up and cook. Like he should have put pick it up and cook it. That would have been
fine.
Made
better.
Well, let's just give him a grade, and I'm going to say his team name might be the only thing that's worse than his team.
Let's move on. Nothing else needed to say.
All right, Matt. Nathan? Who's your second worst in the Arizona Bay Arizona Bay division? Or no, Saddle Creek division. Sorry.
Yeah. My second worst, kind of like Matt. This one could have gone either way with the next one. I kind of went back and forth. But based off of a couple of things, I'm going to go with Josh. I think he's the second worst. It's funny because in Bobby's rankings, he seems to think very highly of Josh. He has Josh ranked pretty high.
Yeah.
I haven't heard anybody else say that other than Bobby. I think Josh also went with a robust running back strategy. But, all of
I'm
his
sorry.
running backs,
I think you're mispronouncing the name. It's Jamie, right?
That's right.
Okay. You keep saying this other name. Wasn't sure.
Right. Yeah. Jamie clearly drafted Josh's team this year. But, I expected more from her, to be honest with you. I really expected Jamie to do better. He went with the robust running back strategy as well. And I do like the Bijan pick. I'm not sure how well Bijan's going to show out in the beginning of the season. He's a rookie. But the rest of the running backs all have red flags. And he really didn't need to draft a 4th starting running back. When he picked up Isaiah Pacheco, where's he going to start this guy? He's got too many running backs. He's also got Javonte Williams coming off a major injury. Rashad White, a lot of question marks there. And it would be fine to have all these question marks at running back if you had like a dynamic elite wide receiver, but all of his wide receivers are sort of like number 2 guys. I do like Jahan Dotson. I do like Calvin Ridley, but he doesn't have any number 1 guy that's really going to carry his team at any pass catching position because his tight end is Evan Ingram. So I think Josh, he's got a lot of work to do. And if we know anything about Josh, he's not going to do that work.
Yeah. I'm a little bit higher in this team. Not a lot, but I think Ridley and Higgins are both good picks. And I like White a lot. But, Dotson's boomer bust. Javante's going to split with P. Ryan. But I like it a little more than you do.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Higgins, Dotson, Ridley combination. I think all 3 of them together could be serviceable. You know what I mean? I'm really excited to see what Ridley does this year, coming back from all the nonsense, and he's looked really good at camp. Higgins is always good. You know what I mean? Like I feel like he's a good number 2 receiver.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, or wide receiver 2, you want to call it. So I'm interested to see how his team, and Dotson I'm excited about this year. So I like his wide receivers for their upside, but like you said, I'm not really sure how they're going to play out. And yeah, these running backs are, Bijan could be awesome. We could all be looking back at Bijan at the end of the year going like, damn, Josh had the best running back in the league. You know what I mean? Like he has that potential, you know what I mean? So I don't know. Josh is, I'm with you, Nathan. I understand, but I don't know if I would have put him that far down, but let's move it on. What about his name? What about his name? Hypocritical Mass. He's been using that name for the last 10 years or something. It seems like
it's been a few years now. And listen, when Josh first came up with that team name, Trump was in office, and I believe it is a Trump reference. And
his logo's Trump, yeah.
Yeah, and the team name, it's a clever pun. 5 years ago when he first started using it, I would have given him an A. It's an excellent team name. But considering he's used it for 5 years and Trump is not even the president and it just makes no sense anymore, I think I have to give it a D.
Good thing I didn't use my Hanging Chad team name this year.
Brother, I almost made the same joke, dude. That's hilarious. I also say it's old and outdated. I gave him a D. You explain it well.
All right, Matt, let's go with your third pick from the bottom in the division here.
All right, third pick from the bottom is going to be Alex. His team isn't that bad, actually. Let me pull it up real quick. The notes that I have are he's weak at running back, and I see that in Mostert. His 2 top receivers are great, but Hopkins, I think, is way overvalued this year, if he can even stay healthy. His 4th is Myers. I'm not a fan of Garoppolo. We've all watched him play enough. So yeah, there's no depth there behind it. So yeah, for those reasons, I put Alex as the 3rd lowest team in this division.
Yeah. I look at his wide receivers, and he's got the wide receivers there that you'd be happy with. I think anybody looking at his team and go, Diggs, Hill, Hopkins. Yeah. Yes, sir. Sign me up all day long. I'll take all 3 of them. You know what I mean? But once you get past that, like you said, I like James Conner personally. I think James Conner is going to be great this year again. I think he's going to be fine. But yeah, past that, of course he's got Patrick Mahomes. I don't think Alex's team, you can't sleep on Alex's team because he's got players, dude. He's got some players on his team that you can't sleep on. So it's just a matter if they all hit at the same time.
Alex has been using the same formula for a few years now. If you look at all of his championship teams, the 2, and then you look at last year's team, he's been using the same formula with a lot of the same players. He tries to get 3 dynamic wide receivers, and then he fills in the blanks with a couple of late values at running back. In fact, I think Connor might be one of the best running backs he's had on that team. Yeah. So, I mean, if the formula holds true, he should be okay with Mahomes anchoring his team. I just find it funny that, Matt, you just referenced how good Josh's wide receivers were, and now you guys are talking about Alex's. You guys hated my team, but I would argue that my 3 wide receivers are better than both of those guys. I got,
this
Cup,
isn't Nate defending his team podcast. Leave it alone. Let's go. We're on to somebody else. All right.
I didn't attack your team first off. Yeah. That was all Matt. All right. Team name for Alex, the Natives. I don't know. I don't even know what to say about that one.
He's had it quite a while.
He's had it for a long time. I believe it's a reference to the Gangs of New York.
I like it even less.
Yeah, it's a reference to the gangs in New York. He's got the character, the main guy, Daniel Day-Lewis plays as his name. It's fine, I guess, but it's very old, and he's been using it. There's no creativity. I would give it an F.
An F. All
I
right,
love it.
Nate. Let's move on to your top or your bottom three, or your third from the bottom.
Third from the bottom
in your division.
Yeah, I almost put this guy at the very, very bottom because I truly do not like his wide receivers. But the running backs are keeping him a little bit afloat, and that's my co-host, Matt Conroy. The strategy he went with seems to be a bit of a hero running back. He went with Christian McCaffrey and then Miles Sanders, who I know he's liked for a long time. Listen, those guys are great. I was actually big on Miles Sanders this year as well. The problem is the wide receivers that he drafted. I mean, you got Tyler Lockett, DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, who I really like, and Zay Jones. These are four guys that have sort of fallen out of favor with a lot of drafters. For one reason or another, people are afraid of drafting these guys, and it seems like Matt's trying to do a little bit of a reclamation project with them, but he's doing it with all of them at once. That's the problem. And if Christian McCaffrey or Miles Sanders, who both have long injury histories, if either one of those guys goes down and his reclamation project doesn't work with his receivers, I'm not sure where he's going to make up the points. So I'm not too sure about Matt's team right now.
I love it. I like my team so much, I don't even need to defend it. Like that, I don't even know why you're saying that. Lockett, always undervalued. He hits it every single year. DJ Moore, come on. On that team, he's the first read, has been all preseason long. He has 120 targets, probably.
Can we back up about DJ Moore? What is this fascination with DJ Moore, and why is his situation better in Chicago than it was in Carolina?
It's not, actually. It's worse because he's on a team that doesn't throw the ball as much.
Yeah, a team that doesn't throw the ball as much. And DJ Moore, by the way, is one of the probably top 10 talents in the league at wide receiver. The problem is A, he's never had good quarterback play, and B, he seems to, when the game's not going his way, disappear. I owned him on my fantasy team last year, and I would watch him. He doesn't run his routes all the time. He could burn guys if he wanted to, but he doesn't run his routes all the time. He gives up, and he disappears in games. There was so many games last year where I lost because DJ Moore only got me 1 point or 2 points. And then the next week he'll get 35, and you know he's capable of it. That's the kind of guy I don't want on my fantasy team. I'll never draft DJ Moore again. I would draft Deontay Johnson again, even though he sucked last year. But DJ Moore...
He was horrible last year for me.
Yeah. Deontay was horrible last year. He didn't catch any touchdowns
I
all
love
year.
this. I love all of this.
No, look. When we look at your team, Tua, obviously, if he can stay healthy, he was one of the best quarterbacks in the league last year, and he has the potential to be amazing with Hill and all the weapons he has around him. McCaffrey, obviously, we covered that with the injury potential, but he's a stud. Sanders, Lockett, he's one of those guys that, he has those games that, two or maybe 4 or 5 games a season where he's in the 40s.
Right.
Other games like that, where they decide to throw it to Metcalf or the other guys, he disappears. So he's kind of a boomer bust guy. Same with Moore, boomer bust guy.
Zay Jones,
boomer bust guy.
Yeah. You got a lot of boomer bust guys.
Zay Jones won't even be started on the team. He's just in there now.
What about Khalil Herbert? Now, are you going to? I know that's a sore subject for Nathan, but are you planning on
he'll probably be in there over Zay Jones.
Okay, that's right. That's right. Because when you look at your team with McCaffrey, Sanders, Herbert in the lineup, I like that a lot better personally because I think Herbert's he's an every down back this year. He's going to be a fucking stud.
Well, and if Quentin Johnston comes out and is anything by week 3 or 4, I put him up there. That team looks better already. Yeah. And that's what I'm counting on. I like him. I like Hyatt. He may be a deep threat guy for the Giants if he gets playing time. I like the upside. I really like the upside.
You got a lot of.
I thought Kareem Hunt was going to get signed by Indy if JT gets traded, and we'll see if that happens. But if Kareem Hunt is serviceable, a 8 to 12 point guy this season, I have 4 starting running backs. So it's a good thing to start the season with.
Yeah, all right. One's not going to score 8 to 12, by the way. Let me just 1 point on Quentin Johnson. I'm much higher on him now than I was when our rookie drafts happened. Yeah. I wasn't as high on him, but I've been watching his practice. This guy is going to be a stud for you. By midseason, he might be your best wide receiver.
I agree. agree.
Yeah, I like him. I still don't think he's going to be the number one. Keenan's still going to be the vacuum there. He's getting everything. You know what I mean? Keenan's going to get everything first. Then so Johnston,
You get the injury first too.
Yeah, well, maybe I like Johnston. Don't get me wrong. I think Johnston's going to be great, but
I don't know if I can. But if Jameson Williams ever comes up, I don't know. But if he's the guy they thought he was going to be, that'd be all kinds of receivers.
Yeah.
But I would love to grade Matt's team name for you guys, but he keeps changing it every 5 minutes. So I'm having a hard time keeping it up.
Go ahead.
Right now it is Anti-Collusion Squad.
Well, when I woke up this morning and Matt told me we were grading team names, I graded Big Kahuna, and I thought, okay, they do make a tasty burger.
I remembered I'd done it before. I'd used that name years ago. That's why I had to change it again.
Okay.
They do make a tasty burger.
Yeah. And you changed it to Anti-Collusion Squad, so I thought it was Alex's team for a second there.
So did I.
Yeah, it's a little generic. And Elliot Ness is your name. Okay. It's fine. It's a C.
I think you're just worried about there's a couple of us that are putting a posse together to come after your collusion. Because we clearly made it clear at the draft that you were doing collusion in this league with Ryan and maybe Sean and a few other guys in the drafts. So now that it's all been agreed upon, that's collusion. It's not going to happen anymore. That is why this is an anti-collusion squad.
Okay, let's just expand upon that for a second, though. Okay, not for too long. We didn't talk about collusion. What we talked about was don't bid me up, dude.
Collusion.
Hey, I won't bid you up on this guy if you don't bid me up on that guy.
Drake said it's collusion. Everybody said it's collusion. Everybody we asked said it was collusion. Every single person in the draft said it was collusion.
Okay. And you're going to bust that up how?
We're working on it. We're putting the posse together.
Don't bring a knife to a gunfight.
Hey, as long as everybody knows it's collusion and you're doing it, at least we can all sit on our high horse. So that's all right.
Yeah, the only reason you know about it is because I tried to do it with you this year.
And what did I say? I said I'd never do it. It's collusion.
All right, Matt. Third from the top.
Okay, so the next guy...
We're 7 in each, right? Yeah, so third from the top.
Yeah. We're good. So the next guy up is going to be Bob. His team's not that bad. I don't like that he has multiple Chargers. He has Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. I never like. Well, I mean, I like a stack, but I don't like double stacking on your wide receivers. Rondell Moore, I just don't know, man. They always say he's going to be there. He never is. Mike Evans, says he wants to beat Randy Moss's touchdown record this year, and first guy with 1,000 season. We'll see if he does it. Baker Mayfield just got named the starter. I think that's a good thing because he throws a pretty good deep ball. Antonio Gibson, this is a personal thing. I just don't know which one of those guys I prefer on the Washington running back team. It seems like it can go either way. So I always value those guys lower than most people. But
you got the touchdown last night.
Yeah, he did that.
He looked good on that touchdown too.
Yeah, he did.
If Eric Bieniemy, the new offensive coordinator there, starts involving Gibson more in the passing game, I mean, Gibson was a wide receiver in college.
And how about
dude? My boy,
dynasty.
Yeah.
My boy Sam, he looked good too.
I saw a tweet today that said maybe Patrick Mahomes is only Patrick Mahomes because he's playing in Bieniemy's offense.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm like, yeah, that's great, dude. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby's got a very vanilla team, right?
Well, if he brings up Zay Flowers, now I like it better.
Yeah, there's nothing. Yeah. There's nothing super boring, nothing super exciting. It's just it's like one of those teams that's just very vanilla. He's not going to win a championship with this team, right? I think we can all agree with that.
Well, yeah, yes and no. If the Chargers are the Chargers that they always are, then no. But if for some reason Justin Herbert figures it out and puts the season together that everybody thinks he can put together, Bobby's team could do really well this season. I mean, Justin Herbert, if him and Allen, I mean, I don't like the double stack either personally because only one of them is going to eat. Most games, I mean, they're not both going to eat the whole time, what I mean? So I think if he switches out, if he could trade Mike Williams maybe and get himself a second stud wide receiver, I don't know. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. But you know me though. I'm a Herbert guy. So
I like those LA teams.
I like, oh, fuck you.
And we're going to grade his name.
Let's grade Bobby's name. It's the same name he's always had.
Yeah, dude. Boring, old. Change it, dude. Come on. You can do better.
Dad habits.
And by the way, I don't even get his name. I get that it was Bad Habits at one point, and then he became a dad. But aren't we all dads? Like, what
I
makes
know.
you so special?
Dude, I wanted to go there. Thank you for doing that. I was going to say the same thing, dude. Like, come on. We're all
He's
dads.
just trying to rub it into Sean. I'm a dad.
Oh, and Dre. Oh, wait. I don't know, dude. This is rude. Rude.
That's too funny. All right, guys, let's move along. Nathan, give us your third from the top.
Fourth from the top, right?
You're
right
at
in
your
the middle.
fourth.
The 7 per division, yeah.
I thought he was on his third from the top. How are you on your fourth from the top?
I got mine in order. I'm not listening to what Ben's saying about which one to give. I'm sorry. I just
fourth from the top.
Yeah, right in the middle of the division here. I got Sean's team. I see what Sean was going for. It's a bit of a studs and duds strategy, which I typically subscribe to. I like it. I think he got some really good players. He's got 2 great wide receivers. He's got 2 great running backs. As soon as I pull up his team, I'll be able to tell you which ones they are. But what I'm worried about with Sean's team is that Etienne. He's got CeeDee Lamb and AJ Brown. Those 4 guys should keep him afloat. The thing I worry about with his team is that the gaps are pretty deep. There's not much talent surrounding those guys. And in a 14-team league with a waiver wire that's as thin as ours is, he may have difficulty finding enough points to put around those guys. I'm a big believer in Etienne. I like Mixon a lot this year. I like his 2 wide receivers. I'm just not sure I like anything else on his team.
Are you out on Justin Fields this year then?
I'm not out on Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields is going to have a couple of big games like he did last year, rushing the ball. I'm out on Justin Fields as a passer, though. I don't believe in the the hype about him throwing to DJ Moore and all these other guys. Mooney.
Let me ask you this on that. I'm putting Justin Fields at like 240 yards a game throwing at the most, right in that ballpark.
That's a lot.
You think less than that even?
Yeah, I think less than that.
How low?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't
200 a game.
Checked his passing.
That's 50 a quarter. That's tiny.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be any more than last year. Justin Fields will be fine. He'll be a quarterback 1. Maybe he'll be like around the 10th or 11th best quarterback in the league. Yeah,
he's a run first quarterback. I mean, so
on my notes on Sean's team, it was just like yours. It said good top 5. I was including Justin Fields in that. Same thing. No 3rd or 4th wide receiver. No 3rd or 4th wide receiver.
Yeah, his core is good. Outside the core is where he starts to have trouble and drop off. And, his bench doesn't have, his bench doesn't have anybody. He's got Allen Robinson, who knows what he's going to do in Pittsburgh. Probably be the same, disappear, do nothing.
You know what? The one thing on him is they actually moved him into the slot 100% of the time now. And if he can have a resurgence, like not the same quality, but like Larry Fitzgerald or somebody, the old guys that slow down, they put in the slot and they have a good couple of years at the end of their career, maybe he could be serviceable because they are putting him in the slot. So we'll see.
Do we have any news on Treylon Burks' injury?
Day to day, they're saying ready for week 1 or could be ready for week 1. This is what I saw yesterday.
Treylon Burks could be primed for a breakout season. If Treylon Burks breaks out, then Sean's team is wheels up.
The problem with that, though, is Tannehill's a first read guy. And it's going to be D-Hop.
Maybe.
If he's healthy.
All right, team name for Sean.
Yeah, so Sean's team name is a dog named after me. And I should give that team name an A+ because it's a lyric that I wrote.
Yeah. You should.
But I believe this is now his 3rd year using that team name, so I can't in good conscience give him an A. I have to downgrade him for that, for the lack of creativity. Now, Sean, if you're watching this podcast, Lightweight wrote a lot of really good lyrics. You could pick any of them. It doesn't have to be this one. Just go through our catalog, find another song, find another lyric. It'll be awesome. I'll give you an A+.
There you go.
Now that I know the history behind it, I like it more. But yeah, I didn't know that. That's cool.
That's too funny. All right, Matt. Let's move it along to your, I guess, third from the top.
All right. So let's see. Who did I go there? Oh, I went with Adam. Let me pull that up. Uncle Vito. Yep. So I thought he was pretty good, but he lacked depth. I like Daniel Jones. I think he'll have a good year this year. His running backs are solid.
Are they?
Aaron Jones and Rondé Stevenson? Yeah, I think those are both top 15 guys.
Yeah, no, I like Stevenson. I don't like him as much now that Cook's there, but
I don't.
You don't think it matters?
Now that Zeke's there,
Yeah,
I
Zeke.
mean, sorry, Zeke. That's what I meant.
I don't think it
they're
matters.
using Zeke a little bit more than I thought they would in practice, but I think they just want to see what they have. I
Okay.
don't think it's going to be that much into him.
Okay.
They're both going to be very
Sh-
high volume running backs, I think.
Yeah, Jimmy Smith-Schuster out on Olave Love. He's a stud. Yeah, and then we get back to the Washington running backs. Marquise Brown, I like. I must have seen something on his bench or something I liked. Maybe not.
Who's throwing the ball
Man,
to
I
Marquise
might have
Brown?
misgraded this one.
Wait, what'd you say, Nate?
Who's throwing the ball to Marquise Brown?
Colt McCoy, I
Colt
believe.
McCoy. Yeah, it's
You like him
serviceable.
still?
Serviceable.
Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
maybe
he-
I might have misgraded this one a little bit.
I don't like Colt McCoy, but Colt McCoy played decent for the Rams when he came in and played for the Rams, and I think he has, I think he's a serviceable backup. You know what I mean? He's not going to be great, but
And Kyler Murray should be back by week 4, I think. They're 6 at the latest. So
Yeah, but even if he comes back, is he going to be the same Kyler Murray? At least in the immediate future with those knees, I don't know. I mean, he's not going to be able to scramble as much. He's kind of short. Is he going to become a pocket passer all of a sudden? He's going to stand behind the line and just deliver it to Marquise Brown? I don't think so, right? So I don't know.
yeah.
I mean, I think his wide receivers is where his team falls apart. I do like Aaron Jones and Stevenson. I think they're both going to be very involved in the pass game. I think that they're going to be high volume running backs on bad offenses. But
he probably has the
wide
best
receivers
defense.
fall apart.
You got to love Olave still, right? I mean,
Yeah. Olave.
He's probably got the best defense out of any of us right now. If Laporta comes up and plays, he could swap him out for his flex. I might have misjudged his team. I don't like it as much the second look.
Danny Dimes is going to be fine. He's got a lot of weapons around him. He's going to be good. Aaron Jones obviously is Aaron Jones. I think Stevenson's going to be a third down receiving back more than you guys think. I think Zeke's going to get more play personally. So I don't think Stevenson's going to be as valuable this year. And then Schuster obviously is. I mean, who knows with what he's going to do. I don't know. Joe's team. Adam's team's interesting. Adam's team is interesting.
One more point about Adam's team. You guys keep saying Danny Dimes is going to be good. Danny Dimes is going to be good. Danny Dimes isn't even his starter. I know he has him in a starting lineup right now. He's got Trevor Lawrence on his bench.
Oh yeah. That's true. Right.
And here's the thing. We're talking about drafting and how well you did drafting, right? So Adam drafted Daniel Jones, Trevor Lawrence, and Dak Prescott. He got 3 guys that you could start. Maybe he could have allocated some of those funds elsewhere and did better at a wide receiver, right? And then, Matt, you mentioned he's got this solid defense. Of course he does. He's the only one that spent up big for his defense. He was spending like $6-8 for defenders.
Agreed.
Maybe if he would have spent less on defense, only drafted 1 stud quarterback, maybe he could have had enough money to get another stud wide receiver, and his team would look a lot better.
All right. Team name, Uncle Vito.
Oh, that's great. That's a great name. I'm sure it has to do with Alex. I assume that's how I take it anyways, of all the complaining about the trade last year. So with that in mind, if that's how he meant it, that's how I'm taking it, I think it's great. A+.
The only downside to his team name is he's got a picture of Uncle Rico here, and I had already changed my team name to the Rico Dynamite. So now we have 2 Uncle Ricos. Talk about outdated references. We got 2 Napoleon Dynamite references in our thread.
Oh gosh, that's too funny. All right, Nate. Let's move it along. Who do you got in your third from the top?
All right. So I can't believe I ranked him this high. I thought I was going to look at this team and think that it would be a lot lower. But in comparison to the other teams, I have to say, Ben, your team is third best in our division, or in your division, I should say.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate
we're
that.
Number 3. We're number 3.
We're number 3. We're number 3.
Pulling up your team now, I would say in my notes here, I wrote that it's almost identical to Sean's, that you have a couple of top-end guys and then, a lot of blanks that you need to fill in. But the difference is between you and Sean is I really like your running backs a lot more. Austin Eckler, Josh Jacobs. We just got the news after the draft that Josh Jacobs intends to come back and sign.
Yes, he does.
Team. You got Devontae Adams, which superstar, of course, but we'll see how his quarterback situation is. Jimmy G has never been known as a deep ball thrower. Ayuk is primed for a breakout. And I think Sky Moore is going to have a bit of a breakout this year too. So I do think you have some pieces to work with here. I like the balance. I think that you did a good job putting this together. I don't know that this is a championship team, but it is the third best in your division right now, in my opinion.
Well, I'll take it.
I actually had you lower. I don't agree. I mean, Ben and I talked about this. He has Josh Palmer on his roster and in the starting lineup, and he's what, fourth or fifth wide receiver in that team. He won't even play.
Oh,
Sky
he's gonna
Moore,
put Jordan Addison there.
Yeah,
if
don't
he
you
does,
worry.
if
Don't
he
you
brings
worry.
Jordison Addis, but I'm not a believer on the rookie wide receivers in that team for the first 4 games of the season. So we'll see how that goes. Yeah, we'll see. I thought it was a little weaker than that, but best of luck to you, brother.
Hey, look, I'm not going to sit here and defend myself, but Josh
Yeah.
Jacobs and Austin Eckler are going to carry me through most of the season. Adams, I think,
Okay.
yes, he's not going to have the deep threat, I don't think, potential with Jimmy Garoppolo, but I still think he's going to be a possession receiver. He always has been a possession receiver. They fucking throw him everywhere all the time. So I think Adams is going to be fine. I'm excited about Ayuk. Palmer's gone. In the bench more. Yeah, I don't know. I'm excited about my team. I think Kirk Cousins is going to hold it down for me.
I do.
I didn't get Herbert, but I was very happy to get Kirk Cousins where I got him. So I think I'm going to be fine there.
Yeah, I think that Kirk Cousins to Addison stack is going to be nice for you.
Yeah.
So I think your team's going to be solid. I think you're going to be one of the contending teams, probably make a 4th or 5th seed into the playoffs. And
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I think
Nice.
you'll be fine. I do have to grade your team name, though. I see you've changed your team name to Host Supreme, which, I mean, it sounds kind of like a Taco Bell menu item.
It's a host. It's like if Hostess and Taco Bell did a mashup.
Well, and I do take some exception to it because, okay, I know where it comes from. You're the host of this podcast, and you do have 2 co-hosts. So the implication here is that you're the host that has all the sour cream on it. And Matt and I are just over here sitting with a shredded cheese and beef, right? So you're the host supreme, right?
Yeah.
Are we back to nacho toppings? Come on, man. Inside joke for all you guys out there.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a C+, Ben, for your team name. C+.
Right. I'll take it. All right, moving along, Matt. Top 2. We got 2 left in your division.
We do have 2 left.
Second to the top. Second to the top.
So I actually gave this one to our buddy Steve. I like his quarterback, Jalen Hurts. P. Ryan, I think, is going to have a lot of work in that offense. Pierce is going to have a lot of work. Samuel Metcalf. His weak spot is Beckham, I think, in the wide receiver. I love Amari Cooper. I think he's going to eat this year. I think all in all, Steve had a pretty good draft. I like Algier on his bench. I think he's going to cut into Bijan's workload this year more than people are realizing. I think he's the second best team in that division. Good job, Steve.
Yeah, I like Steve's team a lot. Hurts, Samuels, Metcalf, Kelsey, obviously. P. Ryan's interesting to me. I think I'm curious about what he does there. And then do you think he drafted Elijah Mitchell with the idea of having him on the bench or in the lineup, or because I'm interested to see how they use him this year. I know he's injured, or he was injured, but I'm curious how the 49ers are going to use him.
Yeah. I don't know. I think I think Elijah Mitchell is a super stud at running back when he's healthy, but he's just never healthy. And now he's playing behind a guy that's, obviously way more talented than him. So
I know that, but are they going to use him because last year when he came in, when he was healthy, he played also as well. I mean, so are they going to use him? Is Shanahan going to be creative and try and use him in ways to get him into the starting lineup more often is what I'm wondering.
What do you think? 10 touches a game, Ben, for Mitchell? Can you see him getting more than that?
I don't know. That's why I'm asking. If he's healthy,
I'm asking you. What do you think he could get?
I think if he's healthy and Shanahan wants to be creative, I think he can get 10, 12 looks a game. You know what I mean? And there's a lot of snaps out there to go around. And that's what I guess that's what my point I was trying to make getting out of this from you guys is if he's healthy, we haven't seen him being used the way that I think he was drafted to be used. And they brought in what's his face? McCaffrey for necessity, obviously. They didn't bring him, they didn't draft him. So I think, are they excited to use him in a way? That's why I was wondering. I was wondering if he was drafted in a potential, like he thought maybe I can use him this year, as opposed to have him sit on the bench.
Well, I will say I've tried to make a few trades with Steve to get Elijah Mitchell off of him, and he's very high on him. So yeah, he's not looking to let him go.
That was my point. I know it sounded weird coming out of my mouth the way it came out. You guys both looked at me like I was crazy, but I had a point. I had a valid point. If he, I'm curious.
Well, listen, if Elijah Mitchell is playing and he's the the backup running back to Christian McCaffrey, I would say he's potentially more valuable than Samaje Perine as the backup running back to Javonte Williams. I think he'll get just as much value out of that player if both are healthy.
Sorry, I know it's clumsy coming out of my mouth, but the point was made.
You know what? I might be willing to make a bet on that with you. That Perine. I mean, with these guys, I guess we got to go points per game. As many injuries can happen. I'd make the bet for sure if we did season-long points because I don't know. Would you be interested in a bet on?
Yeah, I don't want to belabor the point right now on this pod, but let's think about it and let's put a bet together.
Yeah. See, it was worth talking about enough that you guys are going to bet on it. Fuck you guys. Are you looking at me?
Only we had some money on this show to bet with.
You're looking at if only we had mythical money or some shit. I tried to get that going.
Ordinary bucks.
Ordinary bucks. Whatever you want to call it. All right. Team name.
Oh, what is that team name? Oh, this is Uncle Stafford's Van Jam. He has none of those guys on his team anymore. Old, boring. Get rid of it. F.
Yeah. In fact, he promised us he was going to change it, and he just hasn't yet. So I don't know if he's like trying to come up with some pun behind the name Hertz or Cooper Hertz, or I don't know. We'll see what he comes up with. It's probably not.
Only he had somebody in his team named Butts. This would be perfect.
Hey Nate, who's your number 2?
Number 2 in that division, I believe, is going to be Jeff. Jeff has a very balanced team. I mean, from top to bottom. And I think somebody made this point during the draft. Where is he getting all this money from? Even when you look at his draft board, it seems out of balance. Like I'm afraid to actually go total it up because I think I might have made a mistake on the draft board because it just seems like he has way too much money. But he's got balance all across. He's got studs at every position, from his quarterback, Joe Burrow, to his 2 running backs, Barkley and Taylor. He's got balance at his wide receivers, Kirk, Waddle, Pittman. DeAndre Swift, we'll see what he puts together this year, but I really like Jeff's team, and I think that he's going to have a very successful first season in this league.
I was expecting to like it more from our reactions at the draft about same thing. Where'd he get all this money? He keeps bidding. I expected to like it more. Burrow, great. Barkley, great. Taylor, I would have said great, but not like he was 2 years ago because that offense is not going to be great. But now that he may be traded, who knows? Kirk I like, Waddle I like, Swift I don't like, and Pittman I don't think that he'll have the targets to, I don't think, what are they going to throw for, 2,800 yards on that team? I mean, there's not going to be a lot of yards to go around. So I thought I liked Jeff's team better than I did when I opened it up. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
I remember liking it really a lot during the draft, and now that I'm looking at it, I still like it. Burrows is going to be fine. Barkley's going to be fine. Taylor is supposed to be coming back. He's going to be fine. Kirk and Waddle. Yeah, I mean, I like Pittman. I think Pittman's definitely the guy there. So I don't think you can go wrong with him. His bench is kind of whatever. He doesn't have a lot of total depth on his bench or anything, but I think Jeff's going to be fine. Team name. Let's move it on.
Vulture's Nest. Great reference. It's something he's been carrying with him for the last couple of years. Had to put it in his team name. I see nothing wrong with it. It's creative. I'll give it an A.
Yeah, it's very timely. I thought so.
Yeah.
Predictable, but I like it. I'm with you.
Yeah.
I like it because I gave him the name, so I like that. Yeah. All right, here we go. Matt, are we now ready for your number 1?
Who's going to be in the Degenerate?
I'm not really ready to give it, but I mean that's part of the section, part of the show we're at. So mine is going to be Dre, rookie with a pretty darn solid draft. I'm pulling up his team now. Josh Allen, Nick Chubb, Tony Pollard, McLaurin, Godwin, Hawkinson, London, Sutton. Man, I mean, there's not really a weakness there. I actually think Sutton's going to be the number 1 on that team this year, even though I wish it was Jerry Jeudy for my dynasty team. Man, I think it's solid. KJ Osborne is a backup. Hayden Hurst is a backup. His bench isn't great. But yeah, I think start to finish, he has the best team in this division.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a very balanced team. I like it. I'm a little bit concerned about Pollard's usage this year. Obviously, when Pollard came in and played a lot of snaps last year, he was awesome. But he came out and said himself that he was tired, that he's not used to playing that many snaps, that he needs somebody to spell him. So I don't know if we're going to see as many snaps this year for a full 17-game slate. If we do, then yes, wheels up. But I'm not sure that I believe in Pollard quite yet. Chubb's going to be awesome though, and he's got some solid wide receivers. We'll see what happens with that injury that Terry McLaurin suffered last night. And by the way, Cortland Sutton that's a bet you and I need to make. Cortland Sutton versus Jerry Jeudy. I'll make that bet all day, brother.
No, because I have Jerry Jeudy in Dynasty. That's where I want it to go. I'm just scared that it'll be Sutton this year. But no, I'm not making that bet.
It won't.
I'm making that bet. Good.
Yeah, I think Dre did a good job for his rookie draft. Not that he's a rookie. He's technically not really a rookie in this league because he has co-owned a team for the last, 4 years or something or whatever it was. So I'm not nearly as
a dress if I don't.
Yeah. So, hey, Nate, let me ask you. So on the Pollard comment you made, how many you think he gets to 250 run attempts this year? Or you think that's even too high for him?
The question is who's gonna take away carries from him?
Well, I don't want to give up your waiver pickup tonight. I'm not going to say his name.
No, I think they're going to sign somebody. I think Leonard Fournette or somebody like that is going to sign in Dallas before the offseason is over. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a playoff.
Leonard Fournette would make sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense there for sure. Yep.
You don't like Rico, huh? To step up?
I picked him up in Dynasty. I do like him for Dynasty, but you know what? Here's the thing. He's been on the team, 2 years?
Yeah.
And he's been injured a couple times. They put him on the practice squad, if my memory serves right. They've kept him around when it would have been really easy to cut him. So I think they really like him.
And if he works out, if Rico Dowdle works out for him, then now we could have a third fantasy team name with Uncle Rico as a reference.
Hell yeah.
All right, team name for Dre.
Thoughts and prayers. It's a little too much of a political statement for me for this league, but yeah, dude, pick the right thread for it. It'd be great.
I don't really get it, but okay.
Well, I think what he's saying is that he just murdered us all at the draft, and so he's putting out the prayers for us.
That's what it is. Okay. That's clever, I guess.
Yeah.
After explained. Nathan, who's in the championship for you this year?
The Degenerate Bowl. It pains me to say it, but when you're looking at the teams, there's really no denying who had the best draft. I think this is a clear winner. Number one team going to make his first championship bowl appearance. Jake Hammer.
Jake did a hell of a job. I swear to God, he did a great job.
Listen, I like this team a lot. I've never been a big Najee guy. Okay, I don't think Najee is going to be a superstar, and so I don't really like that particular pick. But when you look at the rest of the pieces around him, he's got Brandon Cooks is going to have a great year in Dallas. I think he's got the best wide receiver in the game, Justin Jefferson. I think J.K. Dobbins is due for a huge breakout this year in that new offense that they're going to be running over there. And then, you got Najee, you got Dalvin Cook, who obviously they brought Dalvin in for a reason. They're going to be giving him lots of play. And then he comes in with the hammer late in the draft, gets that Baltimore stack, Lamar Jackson to Mark Andrews. I think when you put all the pieces together, this is clearly the best team or the best draft. And I expect Jake Hammer to win with his father, Justin, for the first time this year. They are going to be the Degenerate Bowl champions. Book it!
Booked.
I had it statted out the same way. I had them as the best team.
Yeah, I mean, it seems undeniably well put together. I mean, Jackson, Cook, Harris, Cooks, Jefferson, Andrews, Dobbins, Jefferson. I mean, it's a solid matchup everywhere you look. You're not like,
he even has the Eagles' number one running back on his team on his bench.
Yeah. Kenny Gainwell, a lot of people are saying is going to be the starter this year.
Yeah, I don't know. He's been the last 2 days in camps. He's started every drill.
Yeah. He did lose Devon Achane to an injury, so that's kind of a bummer. But I mean,
how bad is that? I didn't hear that. How bad is that one?
I believe he's having surgery, if I'm not mistaken. We should probably be better
injury,
at this.
Shoulder. Okay.
Yeah, shoulder injury.
It says consider week to week, so it can't be that bad.
And he's a little guy.
Can't be that bad. If it said out indefinitely, then you have to worry. But week to week,
actually, indefinitely now means 2 to 3 days.
Yeah, actually
That's how some of
backtrack.
these coaches use it.
I think his injury is actually less of a concern than his position within that offense.
Yeah.
You know, he was being very highly drafted in a lot of rookie drafts, including ours. And every beat reporter in Miami tells you that he's number 5 on the depth chart. I mean, he's not going to even barely see the field this year. Maybe special
Ahmed looked
teams.
great the other day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Oh, we got to grade his team name.
Congratulations, Justin. What's
Oh,
your
team name grading. Yeah. What
Yeah.
do you got?
So Justin's team name is J&J, which is obviously Justin and Jake, and that team name sucks. Come up with a better one, guys. You can do it.
All right, guys, we just told you what we thought of the draft. Now it's your time to tell us what you thought. And we got some video submissions, guys, by 3 different members of the league this year. So let's get to those right here and show them to you right now.
We are on Hurricane Watch today, and we're pondering whose draft was the biggest disaster.
Nate's team is clearly the worst.
What do you mean? He drafted Cooper Kupp and Amon-Ra St. Brown.
That's what you get when you spend all your money on 2 guys.
It's a shame, too, because he's so dreamy.
He likes his name so much he drafted Nathaniel Dell.
His starting lineup has the lowest projected total points.
What, you never heard of Jerry Jeudy before?
Brock Purdy's really your quarterback? That's a homer pick.
Well, there you have it, folks. The experts have spoken. I guess Nate's got the worst team.
Hey, Degenerates. So, worst draft? Adam. By a long shot. Might as well throw in Bobby and Joe drafting the wide receivers A and B on the same team. Way to think that one through. Best draft? Dre. Congratulations, rookie.
All right, dude. Those are some serious shit talking moments right there. I mean, dude, I don't know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with who they picked? I mean, what do you think?
Well, first of all, I appreciate the creativity this week. I thought the submissions to the question of the week were some of the best we've received.
Adams was great. I thought that was great. Adams was very well put together.
I think we might win a Webby with Adam's little short video. Bobby's was funny. That's a rare moment of humor from him. I thought the submissions were awesome, even though they both picked me to be the worst. And hey, listen, we already know how it usually turns out in this league. You pick somebody to be the worst, they end up being good. You pick them to be the best, vice versa. So I'm happy. I'm happy to play the underdog this year, and I'm going to prove some people wrong.
Well, technically, the cat picked Bobby. He didn't pick you. The cat picked Bobby. So I mean, you're right. You only got one vote this year.
Yeah.
Ryan picked Adam straight out, threw in Joe and Bobby for the double stack receiver, which is hilarious. That doesn't happen very often. That happened twice this draft. So we'll see how that works out for them.
Yeah.
All right. Next week's question, guys, we got for you. Call your shot. Who's going to win the league this year? And if you win, where are you taking us to the draft party? I think that's a good question. I can't wait to see the video submissions, guys. Bring them in heavy this week. This is the first week of the season, first regular season podcast. We want it to be big. So make sure you guys all submit videos for this week's question of the week.
Yeah. When you win the league this year, where are you going to take us? I'm interested to hear about some creative ideas. Cause we've done the standard Vegas and the California and the Palm Springs. And I know there's some other ideas out there. So I'm looking forward to seeing some of these video submissions and telling me where we may be vacationing next August.
All right, guys, like we do every week, we're going to be talking to our high and low scores, but we don't have any games so far. So last week we talked to our number one rookie draft participant, and that was Jeffrey Garofalo. He's our first ever new addition to the league, and our second new addition to the league. My man Andre Davis is here with us. Hello, Dre. Welcome in.
Hey, what's good, everybody?
Hey, good to see you.
What up, Dre?
Good seeing you guys.
Welcome to the league, man. Welcome to the league.
Thank you.
It's been a long time coming.
13 years, somewhere around there.
Yeah, well, that's how long you and I have been friends. But I know that for several years you would say that the only reason you were playing in the baseball league was because you were hoping to punch a ticket to the football league.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
And then, yeah, I don't know what happened with that, but you ended up getting in the football league anyways, even after you left baseball.
Yeah, yeah.
Matt, you got any questions, brother?
I do. All right, Dre. So here's what I want to know. I see your team name. We all know what it means. You think you fucking murdered us in the draft. We fucking get it. Thoughts and prayers out to the rest of the league. Call your shot, Doug. Call your shot. How many games are you going to win this year?
I think I'm going. I'll say 9-4.
Will that make the playoffs?
Is it 4 or 6 getting in?
I was going to say 9-4. Does that add up? That doesn't even add up.
13 weeks.
No, it doesn't add up. That's 13 weeks. Yeah, we got 14
He's
weeks.
going to sit out the first and last week. That's all right. I don't know.
You'll have a time there somewhere.
Dre, are you going to make the playoffs?
Yeah, I think I barely get in there.
Okay. All right. Best of luck to you.
Question I have for you, Dre, is you were in the league as a co-manager with Adam for a couple of years. And as I recall, the two of you guys ended up in a dress.
Right.
So now that you are drafting by yourself, is it a bit of a addition by subtraction? Is your team actually better now that you don't have Adam weighing you down?
No, man, I wouldn't say Adam ever weighed me down. It's just different. I mean, the thing about being a co-owner is that, it takes a lot of like ebb and flow, right? Like you're basically two coaches with one team. So it gets a little bit difficult, but at the same time, like I still think we did pretty well. That first year wasn't that good, but the second year we did pretty well. So I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see.
All right. More importantly, Dre, how do you feel about your team going into this season? I know you said you're going to win 9 games, but are you happy with how you drafted? Is there somebody else that you missed out on that you were really excited about? That where do you think how well do you think you actually did with your plan?
I mean, honestly, man, I was a little taken back because I didn't know we were going to get into the whole auction list thing. I think I took a little bit of the strategy away because it's like, especially when you're looking at the boards, it's good to be able to throw names out that you're trying to get other people to bid on, right? But outside of that, I mean, my whole thing was just going for value, and I think I ended up getting some pretty good value. I thought Chubb and what's his face from Dallas, I thought that they were going to go a little bit higher than they went.
Pollard.
So I was pretty happy about that. Pollard.
Yeah.
And I was able to fill out my wide receiver spots pretty well. I mean, they're basically like 4th rounders with a couple of diamonds in the rough. So we'll see. We'll see.
So Dre, you're saying you didn't know how the draft was going to go. Are you saying that is probably the commissioner's fault for not being clear about how the draft runs?
I wouldn't put it on the commish, man. I mean,
it's secretary then. So it's the secretary's fault then. It's got to be one of the two.
No, I wouldn't put it on either. Let me ask you guys: is the new format? Is it in the rules?
Yeah, it's all written on the website. But when we wrote it on the website, we wrote it as a 1-year contingency plan because we were drafting with a time limit in Austin. So what's written on the website is this is what we're doing this year. It was only in the football thread that we discussed that we should do it again next year. And so if you're not following along in the thread, you're probably bound to miss a few things here and there. It was actually something that just came up about maybe a week or two before the draft.
Okay.
Yep.
But hey, Dre, you know what? I know you traveled a long way to come meet with us. Cross country. You've just recently moved to North Carolina, and it was a long journey for you to come join us. Was it worth it?
Yeah, it was definitely worth it, man. Yeah.
You had a good time?
Yeah, I had a great time. First night was great. Hanging out with Steve, Ryan, Josh until like 4 a.m. Second night, just playing that poker tournament for however long. I think until 2 a.m. I mean, it was a really good time. I got to not only see a lot of people that I missed, but also get to know a lot of people, other people in the league, like Alex, Steve a little bit more, Jeff. I mean, all those guys that were there, Bobby, like all those guys that I didn't normally talk to when I was in Cali. I got a little bit more of an opportunity to talk to them when I was there. So it was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot of fun.
All right, now who are you looking forward to beating the most in this league? And we're going to end on this question, so put some thought into it for a second. Who are you looking forward to taking down and making your biatch
I got
by
to
the
say,
end of the season?
Jeff.
Rookie on rookie crime. I like it.
You guys are rivals, right?
Honestly, I thought he had the best draft. I thought he had a very underrated draft. It's a little bit of a gamble with Taylor and a couple of the other guys, but I think he's going to do just fine. If everything hits like he is supposed to hit, like I think he might win the whole thing.
All right. Well, let's see. We'll see what happens, guys. I mean, I'm excited to see which one of you rookies does better this year. And you guys both had great drafts, in my opinion. So I think we'll see. We'll see what goes on. Dre, thanks for being here, man. We appreciate you.
Hey, appreciate you guys.
Thanks Dre.
All right, man. Later, brother. All right, guys. That was awesome talking to Dre. It was so much fun welcoming a new member to the league. I'm still surprised. I'll be honest. Still surprised we're here at 14 members. Never thought it was going to happen, but they both killed it this year in the draft. We've talked about it already. We both thought they both did a really good job in their draft. So it's going to be looks like we got good additions to the league.
I agree.
Yeah. All right, let's move it on to our bold prediction segment. Last week, nothing came true. Neither of your bold predictions came true, which is not surprising. They are bold predictions after all. So, let's go. This week, bold prediction. We are going to talk about the opening game, Thursday night football, Lions at Chiefs. This is going to be my bold prediction for this week is pretty bold. Hope you guys are ready for it.
Let's hear it.
All right, guys. My bold prediction for this week: wide receiver rookie Rasheed, not Rashish, because apparently I pronounced it wrong.
Sheesh.
Rasheed Rice will have 2 touchdowns for over 40 yards in the first half of this game.
Wow.
Whoa.
That is my bold prediction.
That is bold and specific. I love that.
Very bold and very specific, Ben. You know what? I give you credit.
Isn't that the point of a bold prediction? It needs to be specific.
You
can't be general. Like he's just going to be like, yeah. So
listen,
that's my bold prediction.
A little inside baseball. Last week we gave you a little bit of a hard time because your prediction wasn't bold enough, and this week you made up for it, Ben. That prediction was very, very bold.
Impossible.
And impossible, Matt says. You know what we need to do is we need to have some sort of punishment. If one of us finally gets one of these bold predictions right, we can punish the other 2 guys into doing something. That's something we can talk about.
You got any ideas?
What's that?
You got any ideas?
I do have a few ideas. Yeah, like we're making real bold predictions here, guys. Like real bold, right?
Apparently, not impossibly bold. I didn't think so, but apparently they are.
Most of them should be impossible, basically.
Yeah, I'm proposing that if one of us gets one of these right, if we nail one of these, if Rasheed Rice scores 2 touchdowns over 40 yards in the first half of that opening night game, then I think Ben should get to punish Matt and I. And I said it once before, and I'm going to say it again. I think the best punishment for this podcast is force the other 2 podcasters to wear some sort of a facial hair on the next pod, a Fu Manchu, a funny looking cheek hair, just for one pod. Just force the other 2 guys to come on looking ridiculous. What do you guys think?
Unfortunately, it'll last for more than one pod though, because nobody's grown a beard back in a week.
I can
shave the mustache off afterwards.
I pretty much can in a week.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I'm game. I'll shake hands with this right now. Ben?
All right. You in for this, Ben?
Yeah, I'm not worried about either of you getting your shit right, so we're good.
All right,
Deal.
you guys ready?
Book
All right,
it.
it's a deal. Booked. My bold prediction. I'm gonna read a date to you here. November 19th, 2018. One of the greatest offensive performances that I've ever witnessed. And our thread was electric that day. We were watching the Chiefs versus Jared Goff's Rams go up and down the field. The final score, Jared Goff beat Pat Mahomes. Final score, 54-51. That was one of the best games I've ever seen. Jared Goff is not the best quarterback in the league, but he finally has some weapons. And I think this opening game, the NFL needs it to be big. I think that the refs are going to be a little bit light with the whistles. And I think this opening game, Jared Goff is once again going to best Pat Mahomes. And the final score is going to be over 50 points each. That's my bold prediction.
Ooh,
it's a big one. That was one of the biggest games ever. What was that Sunday? What day was that? Was that a Monday?
It was a
that
Sunday night. Yeah, I think it was a Sunday night.
Yeah, I was there for that. I was there working the game, and then I got to go in and see a little bit of it. But yeah, that was a big one. That was a big game. So it'd be great to see I mean, I don't think Goss got it in him personally, but we'll see.
We got weapons this year. We'll see.
All right, Matt, what's your bold prediction?
Okay, so I'll be honest. I don't know who's going to win. I don't know what the score is going to be. But my bold prediction with these two high-flying offensive fucking teams, there will be more points scored by the defenses in this game than the offenses in this game.
Okay.
That's pretty bold.
Yeah, very bold, especially with these two offenses.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we are on record as if anybody gets this bold prediction right, and this is going to be an ongoing bet each week, right?
Yes.
Until somebody wins it, and then we'll come up with a new punishment.
Yes. Yep.
All right.
My other bold prediction is I'm going to have a beard all the way through the season.
Should we agree now that every bet has to be body hair related? Just another.
Oh, that's hilarious. All right, guys, that's our bold predictions of the week. A little toss back to last year's podcast when I end everything with of the week. And so let's move it on, guys, to this week's rivalry matchup. Say it for us, Nate.
Rivalry matchup.
Like it leads into it.
Take it, Nate. What do you talk to us a little about the rivalry?
Yeah, so we had a poker game at our draft party. We all got to pick our rivals, and at the time that we picked our rivals, the schedule had already been laid out for the year. So we already knew weeks 1 through 13 who was playing who. All we were picking is who we're going to play in week 14. All the rivals are playing week 14. Well, interestingly enough, now that we know who our rivals are, we can go back and look to see, okay, well, when are you playing that person the first time? And it's all spread out throughout the season. In fact, our first rivalry matchup is happening week 1, and then we don't have another one until a couple weeks later, and there's no week where there's 2 rivalries. So we'll never have a week where there's 2 at the same time. The first one, week 1, we got a little bit of rivalry matchup with the Pod brothers, the Conboys, Matt versus Ben, week 1.
Yeah, man, you're going down, brother. You're going down to Chinatown or wherever that state
Really?
is.
Really?
I don't currently see it that there's way. A poll on the on our webpage, and it's what should be the punishment if you lose to your rival. And there's been 11 votes in the poll, and 7 of them have all voted for the same thing. They're all voting for Justin's idea, which is a prepared statement that the loser has to read a prepared statement from the winner on the podcast. Now, I know, Matt, you weren't a big fan of this. You were worried about what some people might make each other say, whether it would be good content for the pod or not. But you know what? Here we go. We have the 2 guys that are actually on the pod that are playing each other in the rivalry game the first week. You guys have an opportunity to kind of set the bar and set a precedent for everybody else to follow. So, I'm looking forward to hearing the statement that the loser makes that his brother had written for him.
So 7 votes means this hasn't passed, right? Has to be the majority.
No, 7 out of 11 votes.
Okay. So we need to try and get something else to pass because this, I think, is not funny. I think it could also go off the rails. I'll do it if everybody votes on it, but since it's not passed, I'm going to implore everybody to go vote no against this. I think we can do a lot better in this. I would like to do a funny rap or, I don't know, stupid Mad Lib or something. I think there could be really funny stuff in this.
Again,
but I don't know that this is the best way to do it.
Prepared statement is a rap.
Could be a rap.
Mad Lib. It could be a poem. It could be something. It's just something prepared by the other person for you to then perform.
I'm still not
on
a fan,
the pod.
but I'll do it. If the league votes on it, I'll do it.
When you lose to your brother, which we know is going to happen, Matt, because I picked him to have a better draft than you. When you lose to Ben,
of course,
he's already heard you say that you want to rap. He will write a rap for you. And we look forward to hearing that rap on this podcast.
I would actually like to say a haiku is what I think we should do for everybody. Haikus would be the. Okay. I think that'd be fun.
Could be a poem. It could be something fun. And it just be ready for week 2, and I'll have it prepared for you. So it'll be fine.
I love that you're calling your shot, brother. It's going to be funnier. I'm going to use all of this in what I write for you. So it'll be perfect. It's going to be great.
All right. Well, I'm looking forward to this, guys. I think this will be fun. I think everybody out here in the league is going to take it to the next level and come up with funny things for the other people to do. So I'm ready for it. Rivalry week. Here we go.
You're going down.
Yeah.
Was that
Let's
loud
do
enough
it
for you?
All right, guys. That's it. I think we're done. I think we wrapped it up for this week's pod, post, past, before, and after everything podcast. Isn't it? We're wrapping it all up, all in one. Next week's our first season, week 1 for the season 1. And
are we doing one before the season starts or after the first weekend of games?
I think before the season starts is what we decided,
I agree.
right? Yeah,
Perfect.
so we're going to do one next week.
We'll get one more before it starts.
Okay.
Yeah.
And honestly, guys, in that one, we'll get back to covering a lot of the other leagues that we did last year and just kind of tie everything back in together. These preseason ones are really fun, and we're off script or doing new things, but we're going to get into a lot of information next time.
Yeah, because Matt's dying to talk football. So, guys, we've done a lot of housekeeping in the last 2 episodes. Yes, it might not have been super exciting, but tune in next week, right before the season starts. We're going to probably have a little bit more housekeeping and then start talking football.
Hell yeah, football.
Speak for yourself, man. I'm excited, man. I'm pumped.
Yeah.
This has been fun. Let's do it again. I'm ready.
No, I know.
Let's
it's been
go for
fun.
one more hour. They'll listen. What the fuck? Let's do it.
If you record it, they will listen.
Yeah.
All right, guys. We'll see you guys next week. This has been fun. The Ordinaree
Fantasy Pod.